Next up, we have Rival Battle Music from the Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, you're watching this on the video archive, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, consider becoming a member. One of them paid memberships, support the channel even further that way. And, of course, two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time hearing this track, so I will be pausing a lot, because I'm going to be pointing things out as I hear them or as I realize them. And number two, this is happening live on stream on a single take. That's why I stumbled upon my words earlier, because I was mixing up the structure of my own show. So whatever happens, happens. So, with that being said, let's do this. Rival Battle Music from the Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. This is, I think, second generation. So this is Game Boy Advance time, I think. So, let's see. So, as is with many battle musics with Pokemon, the first few beats are a completely transitionary thing to allow for the game to start the actual battle, to give time for the interface of the battle to start, and then the actual music starts. A good transition, and then we start, of course, with this timpani, and it sounds like we got trumpets and trombones. For those of you who don't know what a timpani is, it is one of my favorite instruments. My favorite percussion when it comes to this. These big drums right here, these are pitched. So they have notes just like a piano, just like a violin or something like that, but they're really, really low. And these can be used. So you can see over here, they have this little pedal over here. That's how you change the note on the drum. So usually you change it, you lock it in place, and then you do the things. Sneezy Troll, welcome to the day. How you doing? So we have this, and it's a very dramatic instrument. Like, usually timpani won't have too many hits, but when it hits, oh my god, it hits. One of the most famous ones is from, I think it's The Planets. It's used in 2001 Space Odyssey. Bum, 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 and then you hear the drums, right? Rum, bum, 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 bum. That's the timpani. That's the timpani. That's the most famous track for a timpani. The Planets, yeah, for a timpani ever written, and it's literally the timpani playing two notes, just going back and forth between two of the drums, and it's the most famous piece that it has, just because of how powerful that is. It's insane, the power of a timpani. So, yeah, let's see where this goes. So, yeah, we had the... Interesting, because we have the trumpets, the brass in general. So brass is going to be trumpets, trombones, maybe the tuba as well, maybe the French horn, and they are doing these very staccato, you know, pop, 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 pop. Staccato just means Star Wars team uses timpani. Most orchestral music uses timpani. So, euphonium as well. Euphonium is a variation of a tuba. So, yeah, so staccato. Staccato is you play short bursts. Pop, 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 pop. The opposite of staccato is legato, which we had with that synth, very old synth going up over there. So yeah, the euphonium, which Yarg just mentioned, is this over here. It's a variation of the tuba. It's a lot more melodic, because let me just bring you a picture of a tuba. Tuba mirum starcento. So here you go. Yeah, this is what a tuba looks like. This is what a euphonium looks like. Let me bring you the images in the screen. That's a euphonium. That's a tuba. It's a very subtle difference. The difference is in the piping in the middle. The tuba has a few extra loops of brass. The euphonium does not. So the euphonium has a slightly higher range because of that. So yeah. Yeah, the euphonium and the tuba, very, very similar instruments. They're still very heavy. So yeah, no. Like, if you ever meet somebody who is in a marching band and uses a tuba, fear that person, because they are carrying this thing, walking on pace, and playing this. The euphonium, okay, and the euphonium has the same range as a tuba, as a trombone. There you go, that makes a lot more sense, yeah. I never got the chance to write for a euphonium, so I never bothered with it. So, yes, we got that. Let's see where it goes now, because we just had a slight change in theme. Let's see. Okay, we now have the synth and strings, so kind of like the violins, giving us a doubling. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing, the main melody. And we have now our motif is now there properly, the motif being the seed, the smallest version of our musical idea from which everything else comes from. And that is the main focus that we have. The beat seems to be between the timpani and some electronic drums. So it's a cool mix to have. What console did this come out of? Because I think this is Game Boy Advance. No? Let me know what console this came from. Let's see. Trumpets again. And we have a brief moment of call and response. Call and response is instruments going back and forth, kind of like having a conversation. We're having the trumpets doing their thing, immediately followed by the trombones doing another thing, or it could be just the lower trumpets, either way. And we are having a harp playing a couple of notes here and there. Really cool stuff. Let's see where it goes. Favorite style? Nice. Up. Okay, so we bring in a completely out of nowhere, just completely out of nowhere melody. It's still using the same motif more or less. It's just in a different parallel scale, which means the starting and the ending point is the same. It's just the notes in the middle have changed, and my God, it's wild. It is insane to see that, because now. Yeah, we just changed sections. We've gone to a more Middle Eastern sounding scale. And let's see where this goes. I was not expecting this. Back to the trumpets we go. And yeah, we are having we have the timpani there still giving us stuff. Looks like we're doing a little bit of a okay, I'm gonna check this one later. Sorry, I just got a notification that I'm gonna check out later. So we have the trumpets now going kind of in a sounded almost spooky, and we have this transitionary period. Let's see where this goes, because a lot of this I'm still trying to figure out where this is gonna go. Let's see. Back we go to the same thing, but now we have some of the brass now, not just that string instrument. I see what's going on here. You can tell the age of this thing is from, like, what year did Pokemon Ruby come out? Ruby release date. It was 2002, so this is 23 years ago. Because here's the thing, right? The scales being used by this lower end of things, like this string instrument, is a very Middle Eastern scale. And the scales being used by the trumpets are very, very straightforward European scales. Like, very just textbook European music. This is a track about rivalries. So yeah, they're bringing up the European and Middle Eastern friggin' rivalries, historical rivalries, in this little piece over here. They're using that as a basis because it is one of the, historically speaking, one of the greatest rivalries to exist was during the Crusades. Because, otherwise you have to bring up like the French versus the English, but that's not going to sound as cool and epic. Because then you need French music, and that's not gonna work. So, yeah, we brought this up. We bring this in. That's why it was so weird, because I couldn't figure out, what are you trying to do? Yeah, the back and forth is the same kind of back and forth, because when you're in music school, you will learn this kind of scale we associate more with the Middle East because it's where it came from. And yeah. This carries actual history? It actually does, yeah. Inferno, welcome today. How you doing? Welcome today. Ooh. Yeah, so we had a recapitulation from a little bit earlier, and now we are bringing back this thing. And now that I know this is all about, like, this is, like, you could tell me that this music is Islam versus Christianity, and it actually makes sense. It actually, man, 2002 is very far behind us. I find it funny because I learned this in music school as well. Like, yeah, whenever you want to, like, pit two cultures against each other, just put the Middle Eastern music versus European music, and that's it, because those have two such distinct sounds to each other that it's very easy to pit them one against the other. Yeah. And welcome, Inferno, by the way, again. And of course, the timpani being one of the central instruments that brings everything back. And the good thing is we're doing variations, because structurally speaking, we have been doing the good old, we had the overall A, which was the first part, the European trumpets and everything. Then we had B, bringing in the good old Middle Eastern sounding instruments. Now we went back to A shortly after that. A prime, because we had a couple of variations there. Prime, the apostrophe just means it's a variation. It's roughly the same overall idea. The difference is that there is some change to it, like maybe you added a couple of extra layers, or you experimented with the drums a little bit, something like that. And then we went into B prime because we added a bit of counterpoint to it, and now we're back to A, probably prime or even double prime, a second variation to it. Chances are we're just going to be doing these because, 2002 Game Boy Advance era, it is going to be a very limited amount of space for the tracks. So it's not going to be a rondo, it's going to be a simple binary. And we're just going to repeat A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, or A, B, A prime, A, B, A, B, A prime, A, B, A prime, B prime, A, B, A prime, B prime, all loops until the track gets interrupted by the end of battle music. Because that's how most video games used to work with the limited soundtrack. So chances are for this video, they're going to have to fade out the track. It's not because the song fades out, but because it wasn't programmed to have an ending back in the day to save space. So let's see where this goes. Oh? No, this is part of B. It's like, why? No, this is part of B. Yeah, the second, still part of B. Yeah, like, structurally speaking, we could say, like, A is split into two parts. We have first half being the trumpet part, second half being the Middle Eastern part, and then B is the back and forths between the two that we're having, because we have that split that way, but structurally speaking, this is still an A-B binary kind of thing. So, some 8-bit vibe? Yeah, it's from Pokemon 2002, so yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And back we go to this one over here, right? So... such a simple melody, but... man. Oh. There you go. And we recapitulate once again. So yeah, this is the variation. So yeah, as I said, this is gonna... now they're gonna fade it out because they have nowhere else to take it. Yeah, there you go. Because this thing was not programmed. Chances are this wasn't even a physical or an actual audio file. The way that they used to do this in Nintendo from the NES days is that they would have a sound engine, a MIDI sound engine, which is is a digital instrument. And instead of having the tracks, they would have the instructions. So at this moment, the engine is going to play this note. So you don't have the playback of the tracks, but you have them. You have the music. You know how nowadays we render graphics on the spot? It's the same concept, but for music back in the day. The music was generated on the spot to save space. Because if you had the pre-rendered graphics for every single movement of the outside a cutscene in a video game, that would take a lot of space. So back in the day, that was the same principle. In order to not have a full piece of music that would take a lot of space, you instead make an audio engine and you give it the instructions, because the instructions is just going to be the ones and zeros. It's going to be a short file saying, hey, go from here to here to here to here to here, instead of the full sound file. Skyward, welcome to the day. So yeah, instead of having a 3 megabyte, and this is before MP3 files, right? So instead of having a 3-4 megabyte sound file, you would have a 50 kilobyte instruction file for the audio engine, and the audio engine might be like maybe a few megabytes of samples. So it's a very fun thing about this older music that we no longer use nowadays, because nowadays space for audio files is no longer an issue. That is no longer an issue, because nowadays, if you really want to go spacious and really want to go into a super high definition file for, like, let's say a 5-minute track, maybe 100 megabytes. Maybe 100 megabytes, maybe 200 for something like that. If you really go for like absolute lossless, that kind of stuff, maybe 500 megabytes. But nowadays, you know, you can have that. And most of the time it's not going to be worth it. You're just going to use a regular like 10-15 megabyte sound file, and that's going to be more than enough. It's going to have enough detail and enough quality for that kind of thing. So it's no longer an issue the way that it used to be, especially now that our storage is digital instead of being the little cartridges that we used to have. So there you go. That's a little bit of history that we have from this kind of thing. And there you go. That was the rival battle music from the Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald soundtracks. What a funny angle that they went with, but there you go. Once again, everybody, this has been the Basterd's LFA, layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what has happened here musically. If you're watching this in the video archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, consider becoming a member. One of them paid membership, support the channel even further that way, no obligation. It's just cool if you do. And a couple of things. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, links available down below for the full track. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, link down below is the Discord. Go there, go to the LFA requests channel, follow the instructions in the pin messages, and that's it. If you want to watch the streams live on air, linked are the Twitch and Discord. They have the stream schedule showing the starting times on your local time zone, because we stream at 6 p.m. Central European time. But what time is that for you? It's just shown there in those stream schedules. So yeah, with that, there you go. Follow this, follow the channel, all that good stuff, and rival theme music, good stuff. But yeah, let's